The world wants to know, what are you guys wearing to the Oscars?
Is that a legit question?
No, I just made it up. I'm Bruce Franks Jr., battle rapper, activist, and in 2016, I was elected to the Missouri House of State Representatives. I am the subject of an award-winning documentary called St. Louis Superman, and these two beautiful people directed it.
I'm Smriti. I'm the director of St. Louis Superman.
I'm Sami. I'm the other director of St. Louis Superman.
Smriti and Sami followed me around with the camera in order to make the documentary. And so now we're going to flip the tables and we're going to ask them some questions.
Why is it important to me? I mean, it's got you in it. So that's
Good
what
answer.
else do you need?
Good answer.
We don't get a lot of stories where the hero is somebody who's not a white man. And we don't get a lot of stories with a lot of nuance. You know, the story doesn't center around white people. So I think that's one thing that's important, besides the obvious things that are important about the story. But one thing that's important about the story is that it's, you know, a story about people who don't often get to be the protagonist.
Tell us a little bit about the process, and y'all both can like jump in on the process of making this film.
We had a lot of support from the beginning, thanks to Witness. We had obviously an amazing, participant, star of our film. It was just about really trying not to screw it up, right?
I mean, it was basically to turn on the camera, press record, make sure it was in focus, make sure the sound was okay, and then magic was going to happen. I think it was fortunate for all of us, for the three of us and the rest of the filmmaking team, that was just like a really important 4 or 5 months in your life, and for all of us, and we just had to turn on the camera and record.
As filmmakers, what does representation mean in the stories that you tell?
When I was 8 years old, I saw Salam Bombay in a movie theater and found out it was directed by an Indian woman, and that's when I knew that I could be a filmmaker. And I think seeing people who look like you in front of and behind the camera opens your mind to what's possible.
Cinema, unfortunately, has been a tool of violence, not just in the United States, but around the world. And part of that has to do with, whose stories we're telling. If you're only telling one story in one way with one people, you can get away with a lot. And I think that's why we need diverse stories that represent not just the world around us, but also the countries that we live in, and to make sure that the powers that be aren't using film, TV, whatever it is, to exploit us and to keep us in our cages.
After making this film, what have you learned about yourself?
I have a pretty good instinct for finding people to put on film. It's just a very gut level instinct. When I first saw you in a photograph and read about you, that there was something there. Being any kind of an artist is a lot of your life is so riddled with doubt, self-doubt, questioning whether you know what you're doing, imposter syndrome, all those things. So it's validating to know that an instinct has paid off in such a big way.
I'd never been the lead cinematographer on a film before. I learned that I could do that. Incorporating humanity into cinematography and photography is more important than the technical aspect in documentary film. If I want to tell the story, then it's good to do it minimally, so you're not affecting someone's life, you're not interrupting someone's life, but you're sort of adapting to their surroundings.
I'm gonna tell you what I think they learned. Sami learned that he doesn't like kale as much as he thinks he does. And Smriti learned that she knows a little more Rod Stewart than she would like to.
That's definitely something I learned. I learned a lot about battle rap, and I learned a lot more than I ever thought I would about Rod Stewart.
So what was your first impressions of Bruce?
My first impression of Bruce is that he's really busy, and he led me on a car chase, a low-speed car chase. He was trying to give me the slip from the beginning. I'll never forget the first day that you actually texted me directly, and it was like on our third shoot. Until then, everything had to go through Bruce's assistant, Danielle. And then one day, finally I think we like broke that wall. We finally got a text directly from Bruce, and he like gave me an address, like where to come, didn't try to like ditch us. That was a good day.
What are you guys wearing to the Oscars?
I'm not saying, because I can't.
You're not saying?
No, I'm not going to divulge now, and then, you know, I do have all these expectations that I have to live up to, so you're just going to have to tune in on Sunday, Bruce.
It's the life of a fashion icon. It's hard to be serious around you guys, honestly. People sending us free stuff. I've never worn more makeup or more high heels in my life than I have in the last like 2 weeks. You're like prom queen or something, you know, people treat you very special, and people are, you know, more interested in your work, and you know, a lot of calls that you could never get returned before suddenly start getting returned.
It's been a joy interviewing Sami and Smriti, and our film, St. Louis Superman, will be available on Al Jazeera Witness. Shout out to